औज़ुबिल्लाहि मिनश्शैतानिर्रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम रब्बि इश्रह ली सदरी व यस्सिर ली अमरी वहलुल उक़दतम मिन लिसानी यफ़क़हू क़ौली। नाज़रीन, दिस इज़ सानी खान एंड यू आर वाचिंग न्यू एपिसोड ऑफ इनसाइड फाइनेंशियल मार्केट्स। नाज़रीन, फाइनेंस बिल पास हो चुका है एंड द पीपल ऑन द स्ट्रीट, एन ऑर्डिनरी मैन ऑन द स्ट्रीट इज़ फुल ऑफ चैलेंजेस। एंड व्हेन यू टॉक अबाउट कि ये बजट का जो ख़सारा है ये कहाँ से पूरा होगा, पाकिस्तान का जो निज़ाम है, माशी निज़ाम है, वो कैसे चलेगा, तो उसके आज के दौर में सिर्फ़ और सिर्फ दो पिलर नज़र आते हैं। एक है डेट की पॉलिसी मैनेजमेंट, यानी कर्ज़ा लेना और कर्ज़े की अदायगी सूद के साथ साथ, और दूसरी चीज़ है यूटिलिटी बिल्स और पेट्रोलियम प्रोडक्ट की प्राइसेस में इजाफ़ा। तीसरी चीज़ आपको कोई पाकिस्तान की मईशत में अब नज़र नहीं आती। इकनॉमिक मैनेजमेंट अब इसी चीज़ का नाम हो गया। तो आज के प्रोग्राम में हम दो चीज़ों को डिस्कस करने जा रहे हैं इन डिटेल। एक तो है पाकिस्तान की इकनॉमिक और डेट मैनेजमेंट, IMF का इन्फ्लुएंस, और दूसरी चीज़ है कि पाकिस्तान को चलाने वाली इस वक्त एक ही फ़ोर्स बची है और वो हैं ओवरसीज़ पाकिस्तानीज़, जो कि पाकिस्तान में $30 अरब से ज़्यादा सालाना भेजते हैं और पाकिस्तानियों को वो काइंड ऑफ जो यहाँ रहते हैं वो उनको सस्टेन करते हैं, उनको पालते हैं। इस वजह से पाकिस्तान की अशराफिया और पाकिस्तान की ब्यूरोक्रेसी और पाकिस्तान का निज़ाम चलाने वालों को जो एक बड़ी ख़तीर रकम है फॉरेक्स की सूरत में वो दस्तयाब होती है। तो पहले सेगमेंट में हम समझने की कोशिश करते हैं डॉक्टर खालिद से। ही हैपन्स टू बी अ ग्रेट इकोनॉमिस्ट। इनसे हम समझेंगे कि पाकिस्तान की जो डेट मैनेजमेंट पॉलिसी क्या है, बजट में कर्ज़े को रिसीव करना और सूद और कर्ज़े की अदायगी को इन नए फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर जो कि बैंकर हैं इन्होंने कैसे डील किया है, और गोइंग फॉरवर्ड पाकिस्तान में क्या कुछ बचा है एक आम पाकिस्तानी के लिए। डॉक्टर खालिद, welcome to the show and assalamu alaikum.
Thank you so much. So that we can explain what Pakistan is enjoying right now, the policy consistency, sort of a stabilization, and we are preparing our economy for yet another extended fund facility program by IMF. So this budget was hard for Pakistan. If you see the equation, you will see that about 18.8 trillion rupee worth of public expenditures has been allocated in this budget for fiscal year 25, and the revenue target is very ambitious, about 12 to 13 trillion rupees of revenue, which includes burdening the already burdened salary class, some new taxes, but still it is ambitious target. And about 8.5 trillion rupees of internal deficit, our budget deficit, is targeted in this budget. So this is the equation in Pakistan. If you see the total outlay and net gross revenues of federal government, you will see that only 55% of federal government's expenditures are being covered by revenues generated by federal government, and rest of the 45% they will require some sort of deficit financing. So this is the equation in Pakistan, but still the finance minister's speech was very positive. It has very vital sort of ingredients in it. For example, just to name a few, homegrown agenda, market-led economy, right sizing, decreasing the footprint of government, decreasing the expenditure, pension reforms, climate resilience, reforms in energy sector. So these were some of the key areas where Pakistan needs structural reforms, and those reforms are very key for Pakistan's not only internal deficit management but also on the external front. If you see the external front of Pakistan, if I compare fiscal year 23 July to May with fiscal year 24, you will see that the trade deficit has decreased in Pakistan. If you add in trade in services, primary income, the external deficit has also decreased in Pakistan, although it is insignificant, but still it has decreased. And we have been empowered by worker remittances who always save Pakistan, and those worker remittances has increased in numbers So external sector, Pakistan has shown some sort of economic discipline in that regard, where the imports has been curtailed. There are policies to increase the exports, and there are policies are being formulated to attract more and more worker remittances, so that we can sort of bring Pakistan out of this twin deficit sort of situation, where on one hand we have fiscal deficit, and on the other hand we have trade deficit, which hinders Pakistan's capacity, and the public debt, external debt, that sort of increases. So the focus on this, on the budget and the economic policies of Pakistan right now is the stabilization agenda, and then building a platform so that we can sort of take off from there and target the high growth. If you see the budget, the finance minister made it clear that 3.6% growth target will be achieved and have been set in the budget of fiscal year 25. And if you compare it with the number that came in the economic survey of Pakistan for fiscal year 24, it was 2.38%. And 1 year back, we were having a contraction in our economy of about 0.2%. So this is a very improved sort of economy, stabilized sort of economy. Although there are some areas, there are many areas where we need improvements, but still economy is showing a consistent progress. Agriculture sector is booming. Industrial sector, although it is not on par, but still shows the positive growth. Services sector shows positive growth, but we need to sort of bring more consistency, more rigorous sort of framework, so that we can achieve this macroeconomic stability, ensuring microeconomic prosperity at the same time. So again, if you see the microeconomic prosperity for this budget, fiscal year 25, the Benazir income support program, the social protection, the allocation have been increased with a significant number. So you can clearly see that Pakistan is making itself ready for IMF program, for stabilization agenda. At the same time, the government wants to protect the social sector, protect the poorest. And at the same time, we need more and more expenditure rationalization, at the same time setting the ambitious sort of revenue targets. So what Pakistan needs to do on the external front, obviously there are three components, three or four major components where we can make progress. First is obviously the export sector. Pakistan right now, the exports are sort of declining and imports are rising and trade deficit is increasing. What Pakistan can do, export promotion, we can sort of diversify the export base. Pakistan's exporting base is stagnant. We need to introduce more innovative, more finished products to our exporting portfolio, so that we can earn more and more foreign exchange from export, particularly from IT sector, from minerals, pharmaceuticals, engineering goods, and at the same time relying on the traditional goods that we export in the form of raw materials, rice, textiles, and other things. Second thing, in terms of export promotion or export the sort of enhancement, is we need to explore more markets. We need to get access to different markets, particularly in Africa, Middle East, Southern America, China, Central Asian republics, so that we can diversify and we can explore more destinations. So for that, we need to not only make free trade agreements with other regions, but we need to connect the other regions as well, particularly the Central Asian republics with Middle Eastern countries, China with Middle Eastern countries, so that this trade activity can be boom. Third, for the export promotion is value addition. How we can sort of transform our exporting portfolio from exporting the primary goods towards the finished products. So that would be very crucial for Pakistan. For this, indigenization would be very important. For this, using Pakistan's potential in terms of Pakistan's labor abundancy, labor intensive sort of products, linking it with capital, linking it with technology, that would be a good thing. Investing in human capital, that would be a good thing. Second contour of this external deficit management is how we can sort of bring import substitution in Pakistan's economy. Import substitution, maybe investing in technology, IT, domestic production, incentivization of indigenized economy. So these would be the contours of import substitution. Third contour of this policy where we can sort of reduce this trade deficit or external deficit, that would be remittances and financial inflows from our working class, from our workers, so that we can make it more incentivized. And last would be obviously the FDI attraction, particularly in Pakistan, the long-term FDI, not the short-term. Second is very important in Pakistan, how we can sort of balance Pakistan's exporting and trade sort of regime and with Pakistan's debt coordination. Obviously, Pakistan at current stage need deficit financing, need external debts, but still we need to establish more effective debt coordination so that we can invest, we can utilize that debt to bring more and more productive economy into the focus, and we can sort of pay back those loans as well. So this is the holistic sort of way where we can balance out these two or three things. On internal account, maybe Pakistan needs to look into this ambitious sort of revenue collection, but still we need to broaden the tax base. We need to reduce the tax rate and bring more and more tax filers into the net. In economics, we have this Laffer curve, and Laffer curve suggests that when you increase the tax rate, tax revenue increases, but for a certain point, after that point, the tax revenue starts to decline. So we need to find out that sweet spot so that we can balance out our tax revenues and economic growth sort of thing. Second thing of this internal deficit or internal economy, second thing in this equation is the expenditure side. Pakistan needs to rationalize expenditures. We need to privatize, liberalize the economy, and we need to sort of manage in terms of those loss-making SOEs, the state-owned enterprises, particularly in energy sector, so that we can manage that leakages in the economy, and we bring the productive side of the economy at front. That would only be possible if we invest in the market-led growth, the government act as facilitator, regulator, and government make itself its size less in the economy, and the footprint of government decreases. So these are some of the things that Pakistan needs to focus. I'll give back.
Dr. Khalid Waleed, thank you very much for a nice commentary on the budget. और नाज़रीन, हमने ये साल से देखा है जो खालिद वलीद रिपीट कर रहे थे बातों को कि भाई डेफिसिट फाइनेंसिंग दिस हैज़ टू एंड. पाकिस्तान का बजट सैलरी क्लास पीपल फाइनेंस करें या फिर पेट्रोलियम लेवी फाइनेंस करें, और पाकिस्तान के जो कर्ज़े हैं वो सिर्फ़ और सिर्फ इसलिए हों कि वो जो पाकिस्तान की ब्यूरोक्रेसी है और पाकिस्तान का जो निज़ाम चलाने वाले हैं उसके ऊपर 85% उसका ख़र्चा हो, और पाकिस्तान की जो इनकम है उसका 85% वो सूद और कर्ज़े की अदायगी में जा रहा हो. दीज आर द चैलेंजेस, रियल चैलेंजेस जिनकी तरफ कोई नज़र नहीं करता. एंड डॉक्टर खालिद वलीद वाज फैंटास्टिक एट एक्सप्लेनिंग द चैलेंजेस. वक्त हुआ चाहता है एक छोटे से वक्फ़े का. वक्फ़े के बाद हम बातचीत का सिलसिला जारी रखेंगे और सुनेंगे कैसर अनीस को, हु इज़ द टॉर्च बेयरर, flag bearer of the Pakistanis who sent $31 billion to Pakistan on an annual basis. Don't go nowhere. Let's meet after a short break. Welcome back, Nazreen. Nazreen, we have got Mr. Kaisar Anis with us, who happens to be a torch bearer and flag bearer of the Pakistanis who send or remit for about $31 billion to Pakistan annually. He happens to be a person who has led the Pakistani businessmen, and who has enticed them to come to Pakistan and set up industries in Pakistan. He has a number of observations on the budget. He is very particular about spending of the budget, the way funds are created and spent. He has a number of observations. He happens to be a brand now known for Roshan Digital Account, FPI and FDI. So Kaisar Anis, without wasting any further time, over to you. Please explain what are your views and observations on the budget.
Assalamu alaikum, and thank you very much, Sani Saab and Khalid Saab, for all the numbers of macroeconomics. Very important day, as this finance bill there for approval in the parliament, and I hope the parliament should see properly so that normal people of community should not suffer. They're already in suffering. That is a challenge for the parliament. And not only for overseas Pakistanis I'm mentioning about the 250 million or 25 crore people living in Pakistan should be taken care. I will give a simple equation. Pakistan, the richest country in the region with minerals and human resources. These and agriculture resources and industrial. But in our opinion, it is not organized. I'm giving the opening statement that the team of consultants should be as early as possible to put in how Pakistan to come in the front line and generate money to take care of 250 enterprising people with all the facilities. These Pakistanis, when they come to overseas, they do wonders. They do extraordinary work. Why? This is the question. This can be done. They can turn the desert into greenery. It's their hard work. So they should be utilized. Our human resources should be trained. So I now speak about overseas Pakistanis. From many, many years since Zulfikar Ali Bhutto provided the passport to all Pakistanis to go overseas, since then they are coming out. And I again give a little more history that when Mr. Ayub Khan been asked to give some Pakistani to work in Europe, he said, no, we have a lot of work in Pakistan. We can't give these Pakistani out. We are progressing, we are developing. And that's the reason you see in Europe, all Turkish people are there for decades. So we should take care of Pakistani. We would not like that they should go outside. They are very enterprising. But under the circumstances, they are here more than 1 million people or 10 million people overseas Pakistanis. Working hard, taking care of Pakistan, we remit $31 billion or more. And you are talking money terms. You're not talking other terms. If you go and value other terms, it is much more than $31 billion. Your import is somewhere 54, 55 billion. So, or 53, 54 billion. So export and overseas Pakistani cover all your imports. So you are comfortable because of Pakistan. For $1 billion, you run to the countries to give money. For $31 billion, who is giving, is not been taken care. I, again, speak from this, in your budget, you should allocate some fund or allocate some remittance for overseas Pakistani and take care of them. They can be more useful to Pakistan because of their love and attachment. They can invest in Pakistan more they can invest. They can take your state-owned industry. They can run your state-owned industry. No other country will come to you at this stage to buy your state-owned industry. If they will do it, same as the IPP did to you. What IPP do, they have really finished Pakistan by giving such a bad terms being acceptable. And we all Pakistani are suffering today. Today, we are paying IPP and the cost of loan nearly 10 trillion. Is it fair? You should remember when Shaukat Aziz Saab was the finance minister, and that time he took up, but then he fought to reduce the cost of loan. And ultimately, he said goodbye to IMF. The policy should be seen that the expensive loan should not be taken. Or if this loan giving such a trillions of thing on the burden for the budget should be taken care. You should optimize. You should optimize your functionary or ministries or those departments. Are they producing wealth for Pakistan? Anyone is theory. Is 250 million people producing wealth for Pakistan? Evaluate that. If not, make an human resources development in each city, in each village. Turn Pakistan to the richest country of the world, which can happen. Our Pakistanis are very smart, very hardworking. They are not lazy. They have done miracle here. They will do miracle in their country. So on behalf of overseas Pakistan, I'm talking, don't send unskilled worker to overseas, please. Train them for 1 year. I have requested from the Pakistan Business Professional Council, I requested many times to Board of Investments, to Masha, to even the Prime Minister, President Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, that please send human resources with experience, with a certificate, so that they can earn 4, 5, 6 times. And they can increase your remittance to 60 billion to 90 billion. This can happen. It's doable. Simple. These smart Pakistani can teach them welding in 1 year time. They can teach them plumbing. They can teach them air conditioning. They can teach them automobile. 8, 10 department. They are expert. And when you send them, or they can use in Pakistan, you have a lot of money and everyone will be taken care. Like 10 million Pakistani are taking care of Pakistan. You can imagine this well-to-do-ness which is coming to Pakistan is because from each family, one person is outside. I know I met somebody from Chitral, and he's earning money here and sending, he said, our 4 people are feeding the whole village. Imagine. So I'm not saying that send them to Pakistan. I'm saying develop them in their country, develop your minds, develop your agriculture, technology, take the support of technology, and work hard. And this is doable. Sir, this is doable. We are there on the top before, and we want to be on the top again, as we are all doing extraordinary things in USA, UK, name anywhere. Pakistanis are on top of the organization, and they can do more. See the doctors, how they are excelling. See the engineers excelling. See the chartered accountant excelling. Why our chartered accountant come outside? They are required there. And why these doctors should serve our 250 million? That people should come to Pakistan to get treatment. Not we should go outside to do the treatment. And similarly, as the Pakistan Business Professional Council, I will say overseas Pakistani are the best people to ask to invest in Pakistan. Invite them, frequently invite them, quarterly invite them. Give them respect, please. Give them respect. The way you respect other people by running your delegation for 20, 30 people coming and spending money, at the end of the day, you get nothing. Call them. They will come with their own money and show them this state-owned industry that I want to give to you. And they will run because their family members are there. They will like to and support them. But don't dish them that when they come and the new government come and they crush them. No, make economic trust. Like people are mentioning that you have given the facility for the electric car and then second day you are changing. Not right. It is respect for Pakistan. Please. Any investor will always see. Any investor, and then they will respect afterwards. What commitment you make to the investor, honor. All the government should honor. Should not be that this party has not, so I should disown. No, should not be. You should not. You should take a name of Pakistan. Like we Pakistani keeping very high profile here. I will tell you, my Pakistan Business Professional Council is in top here in United Arab Emirates, in Abu Dhabi. I'm not saying, go ask Abu Dhabi Chamber of Commerce. Go ask Dubai Chamber of Commerce. It's the best council because we are the best people here. We provide facility, we guide the ministry, and they are very thankful. Abu Dhabi government is very thankful, and they know that Abu Dhabi government initially, who were there? These Pakistanis were there in their ministries.
Right.
That's why they are respecting. So my request on the finance bill, please take care of this filer and non-filer, please. It looks very good. What IMF is saying, IMF is not saying, just tell him what you will give, we will pay you. That's it. Don't dictate. Look what is happening in Kenya. You want to have this thing to happen in Pakistan? You want this to happen in Pakistan? You're not far from there, please. You're not far from there. So please take care of loading to the common people. Please, you can do that. You can provide facility, not only excusing tax. You should, if you take tax, you can provide the facility of health. You can provide the facility of education. You can provide the facility of basic things, water.
Right.
Infrastructure, you are supposed to. That's the reason you are taking tax. You are not taking tax to give salary.
Yeah.
You are taking the tax to give salary only. Better appoint a consultant. How much beneficial these ministries are and departments are and these parliament are. Are they beneficial to the nation? We are the owners of that money which has been generated. This is not for paying salary. Wherever the companies goes to pay for salary, they will close one day. And we should reduce our cost. We should work, appoint consultant, local, don't appoint international consultant. They will not give service. Appoint a Pakistani. Pakistani professionals do better work in the world than any one person. No international consultant. I don't believe on that. They learn from us, international consultant. We are their backbone. Take them and say, are we getting benefit from this ministry, this department? Are we? You're not taking help of technology. You're not taking help of technology. Country like United Arab Emirates is advanced than anything. They don't see cash. They don't see cash.
Yeah.
Why not you do that? You are more advanced in IT. Do that.
Yeah.
And turn your economy into the net. Bring everyone on the net. Why do you allow those persons who honor and respect and white-collar people or good people, they honor your tax laws, and those who are not, like they're saying, on the milk, you put a tax on packet, and those unpack it, they are selling, increasing. Why you allow such thing?
अंडरस्टूड कैसे रनी साहब ने तफसील के साथ बताया कि जो बजट है वो सिर्फ ऐसा लगता है कि सिर्फ और सिर्फ कर्ज़े लेने का नाम है, और कर्ज़े की जो अखराजात हैं, कर्ज़ों का जो ख़र्चा होना है, वो सिर्फ और सिर्फ गवर्नमेंट की ब्यूरोक्रेसी और गवर्नमेंट के निज़ाम को चलाने के लिए उसका इस्तेमाल नज़र आता है और कहीं नज़र नहीं आता। कैसर अनी साहब ने बताया कि आप 1-1 अरब डॉलर के लिए 30-30 लोगों का डेलीगेशन लेके जाते हैं और नतीजा सिफर रहता है। ही वॉज ऑफ द ओपिनियन कि जो 31 अरब डॉलर सालाना पाकिस्तानी भेजकर आपसे वापस नहीं मांगता, आप उसको थोड़ी सी इज़्ज़त दें, आप उसको थोड़ा सा रिगार्ड करें, और SOEs को बेचने के लिए आप जो इधर उधर सेंटर राइट लेफ़्ट भाग रहे हैं, आपको पाकिस्तानी इसकी तरफ देखना चाहिए। ये पाकिस्तानियों के लिए टैक्स जमा होता है, पाकिस्तानियों का टैक्स जमा होता है, और पाकिस्तानियों को ये पूछने का हक़ है कि आप इसे कहाँ इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं। ये इदारे भी उनके मुताबिक पाकिस्तानियों के हैं और पाकिस्तानी ही इन इदारों को अच्छा चला सकते हैं। इस वक्त जो कोशिश हो रही है कि बाहर के इंटरप्राइजेज़ को पाकिस्तान के इंस्टीट्यूशंस दे दिए जाएं, स्ट्रेटजिक इंस्टीट्यूशंस दे दिए जाएं, इसकी उन्होंने किसी हद तक मुखालफत की। उन्होंने कहा कि इसकी अगर कोई सही ओनरशिप राइट रखने के लोग मुस्तहिक हैं तो वो वसीस पाकिस्तानी हैं। प्रोग्राम के अगले सेगमेंट में हम बातचीत करेंगे वक्फे के बाद सुलेमान मेहदी से, जो कि स्टेट लाइफ के चेयरमैन हैं। उनसे समझेंगे कि वो बजट को कैसे देखते हैं। नाज़रीन, डोंट गो नोवेयर, लेट्स मीट आफ्टर शॉर्ट ब्रेक। वेलकम बैक नाज़रीन, प्रोग्राम के इस सेगमेंट में हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं सुलेमान मेहदी। ही हैपन्स टू बी द चेयरमैन ऑफ स्टेट लाइफ कॉर्पोरेशन। इनसे समझने की कोशिश करते हैं कि इन्होंने इस बजट को कैसा पाया एज एन एक्सपर्ट ऑफ द कैपिटल मार्केट। डेवलपमेंट रीड को ये हेड करते हैं, देखते हैं, एंड ही हैज़ गॉट अ गुड ऑब्जर्वेशन ऑन द फाइनेंशियल इंडस्ट्री, रियल एस्टेट सेक्टर एंड ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन of the many financial industry segments. Suleiman Mehdi, welcome to the show, and we would want you to kindly express your opinion as to how do you look at the budget and its impact on the financial industry, financial segments.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Just a few takeaways on our federal budget FY25. Definitely the budget seems to be a very ambitious budget, and no doubt it had to be because it's being aligned with the IMF program that we are trying to attain. So hence, we can't complain here with the limited capacity available to the government and limited room available to the government. It was expected to get a budget like this. So targeting a deficit of 5.9% of GDP would probably be the best that we would be trying to achieve in the last 7 years, also aided by a almost 2% primary surplus. So the actual thrust of the budget is on the revenue targets. So trying to achieve revenue of 17.8 trillion, which is almost 46% year on year higher, and it's being backed by 40% increase in tax revenue, which is 13 trillion, and non-tax revenue of 4.9 trillion, which is almost 64% higher year on year. Now, obviously, these are very tough tasks to be achieved. So the actual test of the government would still be on the successful implementation and execution of these targets. 8 trillion rupees against a total outlay of 18.9 trillion, which is more than 50%. Now, this actually is not a very great situation to be in, because this purely reflects upon maintaining the lifestyle on leveraging. यानी कि आप अपनी जो quality of life है वो उधार पे जो है गुजार रहे हैं. So this is not really a very long-term sustainable model. I'll also like to just touch upon the budget's impact on the stock exchange. So we've already seen a positive impact, a rally at the PSX. And I think the primary reason was that before the budget was out, there were rumors in the market regarding a higher CGT being imposed, which wasn't the case. So hence the market has taken that very positively, and different rates and slabs of CGT has been defined. Yes, a major change has been that any equity purchased 1st July 24 onwards will be taxed flat at 15%. However, there is still room for purchases from the period of 1st July 2022 till 30th June 2024, whereby the previously defined tax slabs, which is a reducing tax slab from 15% all the way to 0% if the security is held for more than 6 years. And then there is a third slab that any security that has been purchased before July 23, that would be zero tax. In the short run, the PSX has already responded very positively to the new CGT structure, which is more or less the same, and the highest CGT slab being 15%. Whereas in the medium term, the performance of the exchange will be purely dependent on the ability of the government in implementing this budget and Pakistan being able to achieve a longer term IMF program. A few sectors to be touched upon, those have been hurt negatively in this budget is, of course, your banking sector. Primarily, there has been no as such tax increase, but all provisions under the prudential regulations and IFRS 9 has been disallowed as an expense until unless they are declared in the category of loss, which effectively means that the banks will end up paying more taxes and will not be allowed to undertake provisioning the way we have been doing in the past. Likewise, steel sector has also been negatively affected because there's been income tax exemption for another year that has been given to FATA and PATA region. So all those operating outside that region in the formal steel sector will definitely be at a natural disadvantage. On the cement, it's more or less neutral to negative because any increase in the FAD on the cement prices and obviously the sales tax on coal dealers will more or less be a pass-through for them. Definitely a paradigm shift, which is a big negative for textiles, that they've been moved out from the 1% turnover tax regime to normal tax regime, whereby they'll also now end up paying 39% tax, including 10% super tax. So this is like a big change for the textile sector. But the good part is that all the sectors in this current budget are being aligned, like the tax structures are being aligned to make it more competitive. I'll also like to touch upon a little bit on the real estate side because from Pakistan's economy, it's a very large sector. So new CGT rates have been defined for the real estate sector. They've been categorized primarily into three categories, which is like CGT rates for open plots, which is exactly the same as for the equity securities. Then there is constructed properties where there are 4 different slabs, 15%, 10%, 7.5%, and 5%, and then it goes to 0. And then there is the category of flats where there are 2 slabs, which is 15% and 7.5%. And after that, it goes to 0. So then touching slightly upon the REIT sector, there's not much that has been done on this side this year. However, the tax on dividends have been increased from 10 to 15%, which has been the case on all the mutual funds also, like all stock funds, which where there was a 10% CGT applicable has now gone to 15%. So this is the only thing that has changed. But what I would really like to touch upon here is that there was a very big advantage that was given to the REIT sector, and that has been discontinued since July 23. And that benefit was no CGT incidence if a property would be transferred from its cost of acquisition to fair market value in a REIT fund. And probably this was one of the biggest incentives to formalize this sector, to rope in the land parcels lying idle into the formal sector. So I think this is one point that the government should really need to reconsider in terms of if they really want to formalize the real estate sector. So having said that, I'll just conclude by saying on the whole, it's a good job done. There are limitations for the government at this point in time. The only thing I would like to reiterate is that going forward, we cannot continue to maintain our lifestyles on leverage and borrowing. there has to be a permanent solution to this. Thank you.
سلیمان مہدی، آپ کا پروگرام کے لیے وقت نکالنے کا بہت بہت شکریہ. ناظرین، آج کے پروگرام میں شریک گفتگو رہے خالد ولید، جو کہ ایک جانے مانے اکانومسٹ ہیں. مزید ہمیں جوائن کیا تھا کیسر انیس نے، جو کہ پاکستان UAE بزنس کونسل کے پریزیڈنٹ ہیں. آخر میں ہمیں جوائن کیا تھا سلیمان مہدی نے، جو کہ اسٹیٹ لائف کارپوریشن کے چیئرمین ہیں. تینوں نے ہمیں تفصیل کے ساتھ بتایا کہ جو بجٹ ہے وہ ایک بیلنسڈ بجٹ ہے. However, کیسر علی صاحب had a clear observation کہ سیلریڈ کلاس کو برڈن کرنا، سیلریڈ کلاس کے اوپر مزید ٹیکسز کا بوجھ ڈالنا اور پیٹرولیم لیوی کا جو نفاذ ہے یہ مہنگائی میں اضافہ کرے گا. خالد ولید had some observation vis-a-vis the strategy of the government, economic strategy of the government, debt management policy of the government, but he was of the opinion کہ ود دی انڈکشن آف اے بینکر فائنانس منسٹر پاکستان کی اکانومی اب محدود ہو گئی ہے قرضوں کو لینے میں اور سود کے ساتھ ان کی ادائیگی میں. سو کیسر انیس نے ان کو ٹاک کیا اور انہوں نے کہا کہ مہنگے قرضوں کو اگر چھوٹے اور سستے قرضوں سے ریپلیس کیے جانے کی پالیسی کی طرف جایا جائے تو وہی کچھ ہو سکتا ہے جو شوکت عزیز کے ٹائم میں ہوا، یعنی جب قرضے 20 سال کے لیے ریسکیجول ہوئے اور کم شرح سود پہ ہوا. مارکیٹ میں ایسا کیا جا سکتا ہے. انٹرنل ڈیٹ کی ریسٹرکچرنگ ایک بہت بڑا مسئلہ ہے. جب شرح سود نیچے آئے گی تو اب جو خربوں میں مہنگے قرضے لانگ ٹرم دیے ہوئے ہیں اس کو ریسٹرکچر کریں نہ کریں. بہت سارے لوگ سمجھتے ہیں انکلوڈنگ شہباز زیدی کہ پاکستان جو اندرونی قرضے ہیں اس پہ کسی حد تک ڈیفالٹ کر چکا ہے. سب سچویشن بازار حصص کے پوائنٹ آف ویو سے بہت اچھی دکھتی ہے. کچھ اکانومسٹ اس کو چیلنجنگ سمجھتے ہیں اور جو آرڈنری مین آن دا اسٹریٹ ہے اس کو مسائل یہاں پہ نظر آتے ہیں کہ مہنگائی انفیکٹ کم نہیں ہو رہی اور جو 6 لاکھ روپے سالانہ کمانے والا طبقہ ہے اس کے اوپر تقریباً وہی ٹیکس ہے جو ٹیکس اصولاً اپلیکیبل ہونا چاہیے اس شخص کے اوپر جو بے سر و سامان ہے، سڑک پر ہے، روزگار نہیں ہے اور گورنمنٹ اسے کہتی ہے کہ تم بے نظیر انکم سپورٹ پروگرام سے 32-40 ہزار روپے ماہانہ لے لو بغیر کچھ کیے. سو پاکستان میں ایک گومگوں کی سچویشن ہے. گوئنگ فارورڈ دیکھنا یہ ہے کہ یہ فائنانس منسٹر کس طرح کی پالیسیز کو پرسیو کرتے ہیں. 80 روپے پر لیٹر اگر پیٹرولیم لیوی کا نفاذ ہو جائے گا، بجلی کے پر یونٹ کاسٹ میں 30-35 روپے کا اضافہ ہو جائے گا تو چانسز اس بات کے ہیں کہ عوام جو ہے وہ ٹیکس کے برڈن کی وجہ سے شاید گورنمنٹ کے خلاف کوئی نہ کوئی کسی نہ کسی سٹیج پہ آواز اٹھانے پہ مجبور ہو جائے گی. سو وی ہیو ٹو سی کہ یہ پورا سال گورنمنٹ کیسے نکالتی ہے. بٹ وین یو لک ایٹ دا کیپٹل مارکیٹ اٹ از بومنگ. 80,000 کے لیول کے اوپر لوگ 1,50,000 کے لیول کی باتیں کر رہے ہیں. امید کی کرن جو ہے وہ ریئل اسٹیٹ سیکٹر ہے جس میں سلیمان مہدی جیسے سٹارز ہیں اور وہ بہرحال پاکستان کی اکانومی کو ریجوینیٹ کرنے کے لیے ریئل اسٹیٹ سیکٹر میں کافی انوویٹیو پروڈکٹس پہ کام کر رہے ہیں. ڈیولپمنٹل ریٹ از ون سچ ایلیمنٹ کہ جہاں پر بینک 30% IRR پہ قرضے دیا کرتے تھے، اب بینک اسٹیک ہولڈر بنتے ہیں، ایکویٹی شیئر ہولڈر بنتے ہیں ریئل اسٹیٹ کے پروجیکٹ میں اور اب پھر پروجیکٹس کے بکنے میں، تیاری میں، ڈیولپمنٹ میں دے کم ناٹ ایز اے پارٹی بٹ ایز اے پلیئر، ایز اے کمپینین. سو اس کی وجہ سے دیکھنے میں آ رہا ہے کہ ریئل اسٹیٹ سیکٹر جو ہے وہ گروتھ دیکھ رہا ہے. اینڈ ود دی انڈکشن آف پروفیشنلز لائک سلیمان مہدی انٹو دا ریئل اسٹیٹ سیکٹر ہم کہہ سکتے ہیں کہ پاکستان کا ریئل اسٹیٹ سیکٹر جو ہے وہ بوم کرے گا اور اچھے دن دیکھے گا. تجزیے کو اگلے پروگرام میں بھی جاری رکھیں گے. ناظرین اجازت دیجیے. اللہ حافظ.